social media influencers, YouTubers in particular, who experience success across social media, heavily driven by YouTube. They decide to expand and find other sources of revenue stemming from this success. Like, how can they monetize their success now beyond the YouTube money? You know, and they're either going to come out with some kind of a supplement, which is usually 90% of the time is not their own original formulation. It's just a white label type of product, or even worse, where another company or lab, I say lab in air quotes because some of these labs may truly turn out to be just repositories for bulk ingredients that they didn't manufacture and they haven't really even tested. You know, maybe they've gotten from sources they find or hope to find reliable, and they mix them all together and they come up with a generic pre-workout or a generic, you know, green drink, like a vitamin drink, or a generic protein powder even, or any of these kind of things. And then what they do is they put them out there and they offer them up to YouTubers and social media influencers and anybody else that cares to avail themselves of this service, and they will handle everything for you. So you don't have to have inventory. You personally don't have to fill orders. It can be to any extent of this now. You could get the product shipped to you and fill your own orders, but this is how far it's gone now. That where if I wanted to start up something like that, I could do it and they would do what's called drop shipping, where they would be responsible for keeping all the inventory, or, you know, slapping a label on a container, which then makes their formulation mine, supposedly, and selling that shit. And you guys out there would be the ones buying it. Meanwhile, Joe Blow, YouTuber down the road a piece, he's in a similar situation, and he uses the same company, and then guess what? Our products are identical except for the appearance of the label. Same product. Same fucking product. Dump both of the tubs out on the table in two piles. You mix them together, it doesn't matter, they're the same thing. One guy may sell his for $10 more than the other guy, or whatever have you. Same fucking thing. Where you guys buy this shit in good faith, you know, and you're just getting all the same shit, just in a different package. The tubs and the containers are identical, by the way. It's just the label's going to be different. They print up a label, you know, for each different famous fucking influencer, so it's his shit. Okay, that's bad enough. Now, got a lot of influencers now are deciding that's not enough. You know, all our, what I consider to be scam supplements, that's not enough. They need more money, so now they're going to market themselves and sell you an intangible with less overhead involved for them, right? Think about it, nothing even physical. And they're going to be your mentor. They're going to be a mentor to you. They're going to teach you how to be successful. They're going to teach you to get wealthy. Really? What are they going to teach you? What are they going to teach you? Because the secret is, you have to just want it and go for it and put the work in. You got to grind. There you go, that's it. That's all they can tell you. That's all they can tell you. You got to grind. The rest of it's common sense. You got to want it, you got to grind. You know, any other little intrinsics that one of these successful people on social media could point out, as far as, you know, influencing or stimulating a positive algorithm, or any of that kind of stuff, is that worth the multiple thousands of dollars some of these guys are charging you, or want to charge you? Let's put it in perspective. These dudes are not huge captains of industry that have pulled themselves up from the bootstraps and have a lifetime of success upon success, you know, and have turned shit into gold. These are guys, people that were fuck-ups. A lot of them, they were fuck-ups, swindlers, con men, criminals. And there's nothing wrong, everybody's got past. But isn't it funny how the majority of these dudes have that all, they share that kind of past. So it kind of looks like, once a con man, always a con man. You know? Think about it. What are they successful at? Exactly what skills made them successful? Well, the one I just told you about. You gotta want it bad enough that you grind for it. That you'll sacrifice your time and grind for it. Very simple. So what did they have to do? Well, they had to post videos, they had to make videos. How much did that cost them? What was the startup fee? Going to get any kind of camera or use their phone? Initially, so they get a little traction, get some money coming in. They make videos, post pictures on Instagram, what other social media. Well, if you're unemployed, you got no prospects, and you're otherwise just sitting around all day with one thumb up your ass, one in your mouth playing Switch. In other words, you're not out there working to provide for your family, putting food on the table, roof over people's heads, you know what I mean? Then why wouldn't you have time to post all kinds of videos and take all kinds of pictures and become a self-promotional social media tool? So really, they just lucked out in being in the right place at the right time. Not because of anything special, just be, you know, and even if you do say, well, there's something special, they have a certain degree of charisma, well, can they teach you that? Can they teach you that? And how far does charisma get you when you really have to have some kind of business savvy? And you're not just trying to be persuasive, but you actually have to demonstrate some kind of ability, some kind of knowledge, some kind of understanding of economics and business structure. You know, so what they did cost nothing, no startup, right? So is that what you want to do? If you want to make your wealth as a YouTuber or on Instagram, social media, then sure, maybe they can help you out with that, but what's that worth, and how long will it take you to recoup that money? Just for a little bit of guidance. But if you really think you're going to take this and apply it across the board into all manner of business, you're barking up the wrong tree. You're barking up the wrong tree. You know, again, right place at right time. Only in this era could these people have done what they've done. Only now, when people are so ready and willing to live vicariously and able through the internet to live vicariously through others, like to such a great degree of voyeurism, where they're just looking into somebody else's proposed, or however much of it is genuine, however much of it is put on for the camera life. And you turn the camera on, I don't care how real anybody is, there's a difference involved. It makes a difference. And especially so if you're pressed for money to get the thing off the ground. You know, you're going to invent your character, all that shit. Can you do that in the real world? Yeah, you probably can. But is that going to teach you the ins and outs of like how to write a business plan, a successful business plan? Because all these other avenues of business take some kind of startup money, right? Maybe you're a mechanic. You figure I'm going to open my own shop and be super successful. What are they going to tell you about that? You know, maybe you're a plumber. Maybe you're an electrician. Maybe you're a truck driver. These guys can give you information. You're going to be able to go and write a convincing, persuasive business plan, the ins and outs of how to get securities loans or grants. They got any knowledge about any of that? What's out there, what's available, how you qualify, who qualifies, so that you can get the capital to start your business? Because you're talking brick and mortar type stuff, right? You're going to start your own trucking company? Do you own your own truck? Well, if you don't, you have a plan, you probably already know. You definitely know 100 times more about it than what they can tell you. But think about it. Where do you think money's coming from? What market are you filling? What void are you filling? What are you providing in exchange for a dollar? And whatever that is, these guys are so qualified that if you're going to pay somebody that kind of money to mentor you, it's going to be one of them. You better look to successful people that are more on a platform that you're going to compete on. You better look for successful people that have knowledge that came from a similar background as yourself as far as financial standing in the world, and have knowledge about the road you're trying to go down. But you can pay me $300 for a fucking diet, and I'll do a lot for that. I'll write you an individual customized diet and ride with you and all that shit. And I'll try to motivate you through videos or phone conversations or email, text, whatever the fuck. But you know that if it were that bulletproof, 100% of people would be successful, and they're not. Even with all the knowledge, given all the information, they don't have that drive. They do not want it badly enough, you know, to get in shape, to eat right, to do all these things. They can't even make those small sacrifices. What not to take out of the refrigerator. Maybe what not to keep in there in the first place. You know, to get up in the morning and do their cardio. Some people aren't even disciplined enough to drink a gallon of water a day. So, you think you're going to go out there on something that one of these YouTubers is going to teach you? And you're going to be successful and you're going to be wealthy? Sounds like a fucking pipe dream to me. Sounds like everybody looking for a fast fix. Oh, my life is a fucking wreck. I have this fucking fantasy in mind that I'd like to live. These guys that have done it, done what? You know, so I can pay this motherfucker 10 grand or whatever the fuck, more in some cases, and I'm gonna know the secret. Again, if you don't have startup money, all they can teach you about is how the process they went through to become Insta famous or YouTube famous or whatever, and how they were able to monetize that. That's what they can teach you. But if I were going to pay somebody to mentor me, it would be somebody that actually has pulled themselves up from the ground level, and I would have to be able to see parallels between where I'm trying to go and where they've been surpassed or whatever have you. Here's a good mentor. Guy that went into business for himself, like in my case, auto technician. Spent many, many, many years as a dealer, highly trained, highly skilled, well paid, but took that plunge, had the fucking balls, take that plunge, leave his job, open his own shop, start out very humble and small, and built it into like a huge 7-bay fucking state-of-the-art shop, brick and mortar shop. Then sold it for a fortune and retired. I know people have done that. That's who I would look to if I were going to open, you know, if that's the road I want to go down. These other clowns, everybody looking for an easy, fast fix. Quick solution. You don't have to work. Just make videos, take pictures of yourself and your life. What are you going to do in the meantime for money? Keep working. You can do that, and some people do it. Some people do it. They're not the majority. They're not the majority. Most people just aren't built like that, and nobody can teach you that. Nobody can put that in you. They can motivate you, you know. They can push you, they can challenge you, but they can't do it for you, and they can't force you to do it. You know, they're not going to be next to you, waking you up, kicking you out of bed in the morning. Hey, you got to get up. You got to get up now. You know, get your day started. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that next. Hey, you need to, you know, what are you wasting time for? What are you sitting around for? There's a lot out there you want. You got to go after. You need to have better time management. Can they make you do all that? No. Don't you realize that already? What you need to do? Yes, you know. You know. All the information is out here. If you can't find it, absorb it, put it into play by yourself, you think just you have enough money to pay one of these guys to mentor you that absolves you of all the effort you need to put in? All of a sudden he's just going to take it out of his head, put it in yours. It's going to change your life. That you're going to actually go out and do these things, make it happen. You know, I can inspire you, guide you, coach you along, and it will radically change your life right now. What happens at the end of it? What happens at the end of it? Come back 5 years from now. What have you been doing? Did you keep it up? Did you follow it? Maybe even expand on it. Maybe even go above and beyond as you got in better shape and do more. You know. There's no easy fix. You got to put the work in. And everything else, you got to pay your dues. Most of these guys are guys, one for social media. They wouldn't be anybody. Take some shady fucking paths to get your money out of your pocket. And I think this is one of them. If their supplements aren't even their own original formulas, they ain't even invested that much in themselves for you. Come on. Come on. Anyway, that's my take on it. You got that one that talks about, before you give me advice, right? I'm gonna look at where it came from. I want to see what your bank account looks like. I want to see what your house looks like. I want to see what how bad your bitch is. This is how this motherfucker decides if you got any advice for us. Wow, for him to listen to. That's how he decides where he gets advice from. That sounds like a little kid to me. Not very realistic. Guy like Gandhi. Gandhi can't give you good advice on anything, couldn't? You have a bad bitch. He have a big yacht. What does his house look like? What does his bank account look like? Mother Teresa. How about her? Martin Luther King. You're comparing. These guys aren't in those categories. But they're never going to be either. Saying shit like that. And that's how they decide who to take advice from. If it's worth listening. And all that shit is subjective. And that divides and excludes that kind of talk, because if you're out there and you're doing what you're supposed to do without robbing people, without climbing in people's windows, you know, without stealing shit from your house while they're out working hard, without doing bitch-ass cowardly shit like that, and you're doing the right thing, and maybe you're providing for somebody, you're taking care of your grandmother or your mom or your dad or your brother who has issues, or your sister who has some issue, can't take care of themselves properly, or you're raising a family, you got a wife and you stuck it out, or you're a single parent and struggling, you're making sacrifices and doing what you got to do for the sake of other people, for your kids. That's the majority of people that have any life experience. And those people, what do you mean? Can't learn anything from somebody like that? If they don't have enough in their bank account, they don't have a badass car or a bad bitch, which is totally subjective anyway, right? Ask for a receipt. So now you're falling in a category. If another man doesn't think your woman is all that, then you can't think so, right? You might as well bend over. You might as well. You might as well. Just get on your knees and worship these motherfuckers. It's all fucking crazy now. I don't get any of it. He keeps it even cool. Seems to have a good life, has his head on straight, maintains a good character and respectability, is a good family man, good provider, goes to work every day, pays his bills, and he begins to slowly acquire things because he knows how to save money, he knows how to budget money. That's a good motherfucker that you could look to as an example. That's somebody that you could look to as a mentor. Grow up, people. Life is out there, not in there. That's it. I'm out. Have a great day.